What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live NBA trade deadline special show coming up right now. We are just 30 minutes away from the NBA's in-season trade deadline. AK and the Bulls have already made a flurry of trades over the last few days, including another one this morning. Will we see more in the next 30 minutes? We will watch along with y'all, Bulls Nation. Let's hang next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Deadline Day Live. Coming to you live from our CHGO Xfinity Loft here in downtown Chicago. CHGO Bulls presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. What up, Bulls Nation? Hope everybody is hanging in there okay so far. If you're not, that's okay too. We're going to talk for the next hour at least, maybe 90 minutes, as we all wait to see what might happen next. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. Bow. BAWL Sports. Will the GOAT Gottlieb. Will_Gottlieb. And our king of the controls, the one and only Joey's. Hey, Joey.
Guys, I work for the love of the game, but I come here for the second-round picks.
Well, you're in luck.
Well, then you are in luck.
Because the Bulls now possess
Yeah,
78% of the league's total future second-round picks after their trades this week.
That's crazy. At least 74.
74.
Yeah.
Maybe I was exaggerating a tad.
Just a tad. Come on.
Well, thanks you all for being here. Hit that like button. Share some positivity and joy on what could be a tough day. Was already a tough day, as this morning, a Bulls fan favorite, our guy, Ayo Dosunmu, was sent to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Dave, Goat, and I were hanging out on an emergency pod this morning while you were getting other things done. Would you like to share right now, while we're waiting for any other potential trades to come in, just get your thoughts off on the Ayo trade that went down this morning?
Yeah, by other things done, I mean, I was in the bed with drool coming out of my face.
Yeah, getting your beauty rest is a thing that you needed to get done.
Do you know what was funny? Well, because I went to bed really late. I did 3 podcasts after I did our podcast. But I went to bed really, really late. And it was funny because I have 15 alarms set on my phone. And this time, I for real said to myself, before I went to sleep, I said, you know what? I'm going to cut off the 9 o'clock alarm, and I'm going to make them 10 o'clock alarms.
Okay.
That's
I've been there, done that.
And I did that. And then at 10 o'clock, my alarm went off, and I said, let me see what's happening on my phone. What? And, yeah, that's literally what happened.
Tough way to wake up.
Tough way to wake up. Man, and then I was like, oh, snap, we got to do it. Oh, all right, show's done too. Okay, all right, I missed everything. Yeah, man, that was punch in the face while you're yawning. I think I said that in the Slack. It's like you're yawning in the morning and somebody just runs by and punches you in the face. That's what it was. That's what it felt like. Love Ayo Dosunmu. Definitely going to miss him. I'm happy he's going somewhere where he can contend.
Heck yeah.
I'm happy he's going to a place that is trying to win. I'm even happy he's going to the West. I think that's cool, too, for him to get that experience. He's not going too far away from Chicago, so I'm sure he'll still be involved. But, I'll speak for me personally. I'm gonna really miss him. I'm going to miss seeing him on the floor. I'm going to miss seeing him in a Bulls jersey. I think about the conversations he and I have had.
Thanks.
I think about just, him being here on set and, shout out to his family as well, who are awesome, awesome people. But, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a crazy way to start your morning. You ended with Dalen Terry leaving, and, you start your morning with Ayo Dosunmu leaving. But
two of Dave's faves, man.
Yeah, both of them out of here. But the bittersweet thing is, one I do know now what direction the Bulls are going in. They picked the direction finally and said we want to be, the worst. Little late, but thank you for picking a direction saying you want to be worse. But yeah, Julia definitely hit me up. She is not happy at all. She is. I'll just say it like that. She's not happy at all. And yeah, man.
Chat Julia or Julia Poe?
Chat Julia. Chat Julia. Julia Poe's probably not pleased with it either.
She's perplexed as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, man. Like, so, and then, I mean, I'll let Will go Gottlieb obviously give me the intelligent point of view on this. But then just looking at the trade and what they traded for, it's like, I mean, it feels like you got a lot of picks, a lot more second-round picks. Yay, second-round picks. And Dillingham is cool. And I forget the other young man they got.
Leonard Miller.
Who was Emmanuel Miller's brother, by the way.
Who's
so
no
shout
longer
out to
with
him.
the Bulls.
Who is no longer with the Bulls.
Unwritten rule, you have to have at least one Miller on your roster.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Or one
it's
Sampson. You got to have at least one of
them, man. It's got to be one of them. It's got to be one. But, yeah, I'll dive into them later. But it just feels like it wasn't. And again, I did a bunch of podcasts yesterday, and I was saying on those podcasts, I hope if they trade him that they get something in return that is usable, like right now. And something, like I was talking on the Pacers podcast, we were talking about Benedict Mathurin, who is now a Clipper. And would I do it for that? And things like that. And, yeah, man. So I'm talking too much, but I'm going to miss Ayo Dosunmu without a doubt. Definitely a fan favorite. Definitely one of my favorites. Kimberly. Oh, man, Kimberly, yo. Oh,
shout out, I was going to say before
Kimberly,
we toss it to Goat, just wanted to shout out Kimberly, one of our diehards who just threw us a $50 super chat. Appreciate you, Kimberly, saying the Bulls are dead to me without Ayo. Where are we drinking tonight? Well, we have a game to cover tonight. I don't know who's going to be suited up. The Bulls might have the towel boys out there.
Oh, man.
I think I saw Casey tweeting, joking on Twitter that like he can give him 6 fouls. We'll see.
I can do it.
But as far as where are we drinking? I don't know. We'll be here. I'm on cup of coffee number 4 right now.
Shout out.
As soon as that's done, I'm cracking a beer.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start my drinking here while we're doing our deadline show. It's one of those days. But yeah, Goat. Any other thoughts as you've kind of tried to process from this morning, the latest of moves AK made? Are still feeling like they did not sell high the way that you wanted them to?
Yeah, I think that's really the takeaway. Is I don't think any of these are disastrous trades in and of themselves. Certainly, I think the first couple were good. The Saric salary dump, getting you 2 second-round picks, parlaying that. What's up, Dave? Parlaying that into the second-round pick that eventually turned into the better second-round pick in the Celtics deal with Vooch going there and Simons and that Pelicans second-rounder coming back to the Bulls. I thought that was a good piece of business. What was the third one? There's been so many trades, I can't even keep track of them all. The third one was it was the Kevin Huerter trade.
Huerter.
Getting Ivy, basically paying to get Ivy's restricted rights and only $6 million more in cap hold money, I think was a good piece of business. You aren't going to be using Huerter in the future. And maybe Ivy can be a part of your future. So why not try him out? Maybe that'll fend off some of the other restricted offer sheets and you can get him on a reasonable deal. The ones from yesterday and today are a little bit worse in my opinion. The Coby White deal, it's surprising to me that they couldn't get a first. I'm sure they didn't turn down a first in order to take this one. But it is disappointing to get 3 second-round picks for a guy that has been such an important piece of your future. Same thing for Ayo. I mean, 4 second-round picks is nice. Rob Dillingham is nice. And, if you look at what the Thunder did for Jared McCain today, getting him for a first-round pick, could the Bulls maybe flip Rob Dillingham, who potentially has similar value to a McCain, for a pick? I think that's kind of what the idea of these moves is to, get decent players and decent chips back so that you can continue flipping them and collect second-round picks or maybe parlay those into a first-round pick down the line. We haven't seen that yet, and we've got about 21 more minutes before the deadline. Maybe those come in, maybe they don't. But I think ultimately what we're seeing here is a front office that has come to terms with, we have to move off of these guys, and we're just going to take the best offers available, because that's not something that they've done in the past. So I do think it's a good thing. I think it's clear that they waited too long on all these guys, and that makes you think boy, they should really probably trade Trey Jones and Jalen Smith in the next 20 minutes, because as soon as next year comes along, same thing's going to happen with those guys where they start to lose some of their value. And it's disappointing because they haven't learned their lesson from the very many times that they could have done this with Alex Caruso or DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. Just the list goes on. And so same mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
that's frustrating. But just in and of themselves, I don't think that any of these deals are disastrous. It's just disappointing that now you're basically starting a rebuild without any additional first-round picks to show for it.
And speaking of those 4 seconds they got for Ayo this morning, I don't think that we covered this because I didn't see it until after we wrapped our emergency pod, Goat. But Michael Scotto reporting the specifics on those 4 second-rounders, whereas like you feel at least kind of good getting that, likely to be in the high 30s or low 30s, somewhere in like the 31 to 35 range second-round pick you got for Vooch in the Boston deal.
That's a good second. That was
that's a
legit
solid
good
second.
asset.
The 4 seconds they got for Ayo coming from Minnesota, a 2026 second that's the least favorable of Denver and Golden State. So that doesn't look to be very valuable, assuming that Denver at least stays towards the top of that Western Conference. A 2027 second via Cleveland, that probably doesn't look to be too valuable either. You're talking about a pick in the 50s. A 2031 second, more favorable between Minnesota and Golden State. So that one might have some value if the Warriors are like entering a post-Steph era by 2031. And then a 2032 second pick, more favorable between Phoenix and Houston. I think, at this point, kind of too soon to tell what either of those teams are going to look like in 2032.
Yeah.
But so, like, that group of 4 second-round picks, one of them, the nearest one in 2026, looks like it could have some value, and it looks like the value gets lesser and lesser the further you go out with those second-round picks. It's not a lot to be excited about.
I think we may have just got another trade in for the Bulls.
Goat bomb. Sending
Usman Jang to Milwaukee as part of the expanded trade that the Bucks did with the Suns, and Nick Richards coming to Chicago. So he is going to possibly be the starting center now.
What?
Okay.
Kind of a weird one. Again, another semi-win now move, I would say.
Who is I'm not familiar with Nick Richards.
Nick Richards was with the Hornets for a handful of years, got traded to the Suns, I believe, last year. And, I mean, he's a fine backup big, but he's going to be taking up a lot of usage here because the Bulls just don't have a starting center. So I guess he is their guy.
How tall is he?
He is
6'11".
6'11"? Okay.
Is he kind of
he's a big.
Is he the Messi kind of consolation prize because they can't get that done?
No, because he's much older. He's been in the league. This is his age 28 year. Missy is like 22 or 21 or 23 or something like that.
That's what I mean. Like he's the backup plan.
Yeah, this is just like they need a big.
Oh yeah, I know him.
To come in and fill in, and he's on a decently cheap contract, I believe. I can pull this up as I'm talking, but I mean, this is just a keep the team afloat kind of move, as opposed to a future asset move.
Mm-hmm.
But again, similar to the Gershon Yabusele. I mean, are Gershon Yabusele and Nick Richards now going to be like helping the Bulls try to compete for the 10th seed? Like, what is the plan with these guys? I just don't. I don't really understand the intent to try to maintain. Like, you can still throw out a lineup of a bunch of guys that aren't very good and be competitive and try to win and put your best foot forward and like actually try to compete with that group, even if it's not talented enough. Adding in older players who are not long-term pieces, who are presumably going to play because they need them to play because they need a center. Like, that just doesn't really make sense to me.
Richards, by the way, is on the final year of a 3-year, $15 million deal that he originally signed with Charlotte. Has been routed from Charlotte to Phoenix to Milwaukee. So he will be an unrestricted free agent this summer.
It's not bad, but
bad.
It just doesn't. He's like a competent second or third big man. Like, why is that something that they are looking to add right now?
Well, maybe it's because, like you said, they needed a center. They didn't have one. So you have one now. And it's not like a dude who's about to change it.
Yeah, this feels
a
very
great way
warm
to tank
body.
on accident is to not play with any bigs.
No, I get you.
So I just think it hurts you in that way. And so, like, why are they trying to do that?
For me, it doesn't bother me because it's Nick Richards. Like, I don't think Nick Richards is going to come in here and just, set the world on fire.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, like last year, it was like, are the Lakers going to get Mark Williams? And if they weren't, like, backup plan C, D was Nick Richards. Nick Richards ended up in Phoenix because they might be able to, because they moved on from Ayton. I mean, he's definitely just like, I mean, he's a guy.
He's a guy, right? He's
like 8 points, 6, 7 rebounds a game.
Putting the jersey on.
Shout out to MagD23 who just joined our MVP level of CHGO Sports YouTube
Shout
channel
out.
membership. Way to go. Good
Well
decision.
done. Well done.
Also, speaking of, we got nearly 1,000 of y'all. Oh, now we got over 1,000 of y'all hanging out in that chat.
Oh.
Not nearly enough likes.
Not
Let's get that
nearly
like
enough
button
likes,
up.
guys.
We need the
Let's
like
get
button
those
to
going.
share the joy on a
Yes.
tough day for Bulls Nation. The like button is free.
It is free.
It is free.
Just like my love.
Hit the thumb.
Yes.
Share the joy. The super chats, we also appreciate those.
like is
MagD
not.
threw us a $10 super chat, the new MVP, saying, unbelievable. We all knew this needed to happen a year ago. Accurate. But the dopes in charge and ownership were reluctant. It's too late to the point where we can't tank enough to get into the bottom four. Effing disaster. Well said.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you. That, like, we might be in for some ugly basketball over the next 30 games.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
But guess what? The Bulls got 24 wins in their pockets already.
They do. They do.
The timing in which AK has chosen to do this is so baffling to me.
Yeah.
And again, I was kind of getting into it back and forth a little bit with people on Bulls Twitter yesterday. There seems to be like an outcry from a certain pocket of like, well, that's what you wanted. Why are you complaining now that they're finally like trading all their players and heading towards the tank? The complaint is because we wanted this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or at the very latest, a year ago.
Yeah.
And now, because they have waited this long, these are the meager returns we are seeing.
Yeah.
And that is extremely frustrating. It still means, I think at least, they're still doing the right thing now. They just waited too long to do it because your other options now are re-signing some of these pieces of your mid-core going nowhere this summer because you got money to spend, or losing them in free agency and figuring out where else to spend that money.
Yeah.
It was like those two bad options and this bad option, but this bad option is the best of them. You're selling low because you waited too long. It's still the right move, I think, to make all these trades now and tear this down. Actually, it's still bad because of the returns. It's still good that they're doing this because it's the best of a bunch of bad options.
Yeah.
With that, we got to knock out a quick ad break here. We'll come back on the other side so we can be live for when the clock hits 2 o'clock here in Chicago and the deadline officially passes. We'll see if AK's got one or two more tricks up his sleeve. Not all tricks are good tricks. Hit that like button. It's free while you listen to some words from our friends and sponsors.
Nick Richards. 5 years. 5. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. It's a long time. Sometimes players don't make it for 5 years here. Sometimes they do. And then they still don't make it after that. But guess what? Xfinity is here to pick you up because Xfinity, Wi-Fi, and that price guarantee is guaranteed for 5 years, man. What does that mean? That means all your devices will be working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from me, a whole lot can change here in 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. But lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, I'm thinking, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
CHGO Bulls also brought to you by Bet365. And right now, new customers who download the Bet365 app with promo code CHGO365 when you sign up will get $200 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet on anything. But hey, if you've been thinking about getting into the sports betting game just for funsies, a little bet here, a little bet there, what better time than right before Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah.
We're getting close to that big game, y'all. Put a $5 bet on something. Put a bet on something fun, like a defensive touchdown or something like that. Because whether or not that $5 bet hits, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets either way. And you can use those bonus bet dollars on just about everything. Spreads, totals, player props, futures. Where's Giannis going this summer? And more. So download that app. Use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up at Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bang.
CHGO Bulls Deadline Day Live rolls along. Peck, Big Dave, Goat, our guy Joey on the controls, hanging out with y'all, fellow Bulls Nation. Appreciate you being here. Hit the like button if you didn't do it during the ad break. All right, so let's I guess take a little closer look at Nick Richards with checking it out. Checking it out, sponsored by Old National Bank. Every play matters, whether it's on the field or in your financial life. The best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Member FDIC. Relationships and results mattering. What a nice thing that would be for Bulls fans to experience at some point. Not right now. Not right now. But, okay, so Nick Richards, checking it out. Just kind of taking a quick scan of his career numbers so far in his recent body of work. He's appeared in just 28 games so far for the Suns this season, 2 of them being starts, averaging sub 10 minutes per game when he does play. Mm-hmm. He had a couple of decent seasons earlier in his career with Charlotte as a second-round pick, mind you, from that 2020 draft. Yeah. His best averaging near double-double territory at 9.7 and 8 boards in 22-23, and then 9.3. No, that was 23-24. And then last season, splitting time between Charlotte and Phoenix, averaging 9.3 and 8.2. He's a backup big.
Yeah.
Like that's what this dude is. He doesn't do anything particularly special. He is not a floor spacer by any means. Like basically his, I think, career number of 3-point attempt volume is in the single digits. He's not an elite shot blocker. Mm-hmm. He had in some of those better seasons, he did average just over a block a game in his limited minutes. Mm-hmm. But this is, an underwhelming return yet again for the Bulls.
I mean, it's fine.
And so it's just a guy on an expiring.
This gets looped into the Minnesota deal. What deal did they get? Yeah, I think they got Ousmane Dieng in the. Oh no, it's the Coby White deal.
It's the Coby deal.
So this is part of the Coby White return, and funny enough, he actually came from Charlotte originally. So, so they get Colin Sexton, Nick Richards, and 3 seconds. And Nick Richards, I think, is just like a serviceable third big. He's going to help keep them afloat. 20 years old. I think he's like a good screen and dive guy. Giddey will probably get him a bunch of easy baskets at the rim, and he'll have a lot of rebounding to do. But the Bulls, I think, just want to play bigger. That's why you bring in Yabusele. That's why you bring in Nick Richards. That's why you're hanging on so far to Jalen Smith as we have 8 more minutes here before the deadline. Mm-hmm. And that's going to push Modest down to the 3. The question is just, what are you doing with all these guards, and how does that impact the wing minutes? So at the end of the day, whether they are able to move on from some of these guys or not before the 2 p.m. deadline, I think that Arturas and Billy are going to have to come to an agreement on how they want to approach these final, 29 games of the season, because I think there's a lot that they need to learn about some of these players that they just picked up, as far as who they want to keep, as far as who they want to let go of, as far as what kind of money do they want to potentially give to a Jaden Ivey. Those are big questions, and I think you can't really go into the rest of the season thinking, okay, well, let's just try to squeeze as many wins out of this group as we can if it means sacrificing those guys' minutes. At the same point, if you are thinking about paying Ivey, you don't want to just have him running around out there by himself. You need to give him some infrastructure, and you need to see how he looks with Giddey and Modest. So I expect those guys to get some minutes together, and they'll need a big and probably Jalen alongside at the 4 to try to complement them and help the Bulls figure out whether or not these guys are worth keeping.
Yeah, I mean, he's there. he's there. He's a guy. I like that his Instagram is Nick Richards, like just Nick Richards _. So yeah, he's just a guy. I'm not expecting a lot from him. I'm just expecting him to be tall and do that. I think you'll obviously see an increase in his numbers, from 3 points and however many rebounds he's averaging. I think those things will go up just because of the time that he'll get on the floor for sure. But just looking at how long he's played and, the opportunities, it's not a lot. Not a lot of time on the floor for him. The most he had was in Charlotte when he played those 61 games. And, behold, that was the most minutes he had, and so he averaged 9 points a game. So that's how those kind of averages work. But I don't think he's changing anything. I don't think he's going to, ramp up anything. I think it's what Goat just said, just keeping them afloat. Keeping their noses right kind of where the water is, depending on where you think the water is. It could still be drowning in that instance. But, yeah, man, it's Mark Richards. I think I'll say that a lot this year.
It's not even Mark Richards. It's Nick Richards.
You did? I've already forgotten the name.
Tomato.
I've already forgotten it. Like, that's how I kind of feel about it.
The key here
is negative 100 reasons to remember the name.
Jim Richards?
I will make you remember my name.
The key here is that he is another player that does not extend his contract into next year. He's expiring.
Yes.
So it maintains that flexibility.
And $5 million, you said, right, for the year?
For this year.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Bulls have picked up, prior to the Ayo trade, they had added a bunch of money going into next year, at least hanging on to Ayo's cap hold. Now that's off the books, and they've basically been able to create like $36 million in cap space. So that's if they keep Ivey's cap hold and basically waive everybody else's. We'll see if that's what they do, if they're able to move off some of these guys, what happens. But that's the money that you're going to be using to potentially go after some of these restricted free agents. And we'll have to see how the dust settles with teams like Washington, Utah, who are going to be big cap space teams, and then basically rented out that cap space to go get Jaren Jackson Jr. and AD. Those teams are not going to really be in play anymore. So we'll see who's left and who's willing to use that to make life a little bit uncomfortable on those teams that do have restricted free agents.
Yeah.
Ghost Z12 in the chat saying Big Dave needs to take that bat down to the press conference. So, funny joke. I wouldn't disagree with you. Were not for the fact that AK will be doing a press conference after the deadline passes. I believe it's scheduled for 3:30 Central Time this afternoon. Mm-hmm. It will be via Zoom because the team is in Toronto. So they got a game tonight. AK is with the team, and the Zoom press conference is what we will get. And so we're going to be here for a pregame show at 6 o'clock before their 6:30 tip-off. I think we're going to treat our pregame show tonight more so as like a AK press conference breakdown and analysis and hat throwing and bat whacking, responding to what it is that AK had to say. Because guess what? I'm not expecting that my current concerns will be assuaged one iota after hearing from that dude.
Bat whacking.
Honestly, we're still coming up on the deadline. After it passes, I can give you all the AK press conference before it happens. If you want.
Oh, Joey C, can you set this up for us, please? Can you set this up kindly? Because AK, we can get a brand new AK press conference right here on the CHGO. Joey C,
I'm gonna need more likes and maybe a few super chats to give you the AK trade deadline press conference.
So I say, how about 300 likes?
I say 300 likes.
300 likes,
100%.
300 likes and AK interview.
I'll
exclusive, exclusive just for you guys.
It will look like a Hitchcock film.
Oh my God. Somebody in the chat, I think, just said, like, are the Bulls really gonna head past this deadline with all of these guards on the roster? Well, I mean, Coby and Ayo are now gone, so there are fewer than there were the other day.
Yeah.
That's not true, though.
But you brought back – so,
correct.
Okay, you got Josh Giddey, right? Now you have Ivy, Simons, Dillingham, Sexton.
Jesus.
That's 5. Am I missing anybody?
Trey Jones.
Oh, Trey Jones. That's 6.
And Yuki.
Don't you ever forget. Never forget.
Yeah, you went into it with Coby, Ayo, Trey, and Giddey, and now you've picked up an extra guard. And also, Yuki is back.
Like, what? What is that? If that is, I mean, it is 1:58. We are 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to try to flip these guys and didn't realize that it would be tough because nobody wants expiring money and nobody wants small guards.
I mean, that's right and depressing. You know what I'm saying, to hear that. But hate to tell you, as go to say.
Yeah.
But that's right and depressing to hear those things, that you guys in charge don't understand what the league is saying about you. We've said that a million times in the show before, right? Like, guys, look at what the league is valuing, your guys as. Doesn't matter what you think they should get because it's not 2K. Like, look at what the league is valuing you guys at, and your players that you have, I should say. And my goodness, they got a lesson. But again, hard head, soft behind. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Hard head, soft behind. Sad. Hate to tell you.
There could still be. I mean, it's 1:59 now.
Right.
I'm not,
Sometimes you get those end of the, past the buzzer deals that get announced on Twitter a few minutes after the deadline actually passes, as teams work out some final, buttons to press and levers to pull and whatnot. You just saying Matt's blood pressure going through the roof with that AK presser. I'm ready for it, man. Guess what? My blood pressure. I just finished my 4th cup of coffee. I haven't switched to beer yet. I need to soon. It's one of those days. Embrace the suck, said Piano Man. And look, I saw some Bulls fans saying yesterday, I don't necessarily think this roster overhaul is a downgrade. I would say it is.
It's a downgrade, brother.
I would say it is.
Well, I mean, with a capital D.
I think they're still going to win more games than we want them to.
They're still going to win more games than they should, because there's plenty of bad teams, and there's plenty of teams that are more aggressively tanking than the Bulls might be soft tanking now for the final 30.
And I think getting
got a better head start on doing that than the Bulls.
And getting Yabusele and Nick Richards helps their front court a lot in a way that if they had just gone the rest of the season with just Jalen Smith and Patrick Williams as their big men, that would have really been hard to deal with. And now they've got decent depth there again. Like they were trying to add guys to help survive this, and I just don't see the point of that when you have 29 games left. And you have, I mean, I think the Hornets will pass them. I don't expect this team to make the play-in, but like the Bucks are clearly not trading Giannis. Giannis wants to come back. They could have potentially moved one of these guards to Milwaukee. I don't know if they wanted to take on that money, but it's only expiring, so maybe they would have. They could have maybe gotten down to 10. Maybe now it's like 11 or 12. Like that, but those margins do matter when it comes to the lottery standings. Like that's several percent points that make it harder on you to jump into the top 4. And if you're not trying to jump into the top 4, then why are you trading all of your core players? So I think that's really what they needed to do here. And those moves in particular just really go the opposite direction of everything else that they're trying to do. That those two moves, the Dalen Terry for Yabusele and getting Nick Richards, like I'm sort of more surprised and disappointed with those than I am for the return that they got for Coby and Ayo.
Wow.
Real quickly before we take another break, somebody said, Cardo 1908 saying, has anyone come up with a good reason why Yabusele was traded to the Bulls? No. I saw some people positing the theory that, hey, maybe they want a fellow Frenchman veteran to mentor and befriend Noah while he's going through this rocky, tough, transition to living in America, being a rookie who's out with an injury. Honestly, that's the greatest reason I've come up with that I can think of, or somebody else thought of, because being here and him having a player option next season, compared to all the other things that AK is doing, it makes very little sense to me.
I mean, and it's crazy because I'm watching these other teams, what they're doing with the things the Bulls have given them and what they've turned them into. I mean, look what the Knicks just did.
Yeah.
Took Yabusele, turned it into Dalen Terry, and took that and turned it into Jose Alvarado. Like, that's really good. You know what I mean? And screw the Knicks. How dare y'all? Can't stand y'all making me compliment the Knicks out here. But, yeah, that's a good thing, for that team, man. It's a good thing for Minnesota, how they did it as well. It's a good thing for Charlotte and what they did as well. So it's a good thing for Boston and what they did, as well. So helping these teams out, getting them, where they need to be, and helping yourself out as far as getting a little worse. But as Goat said, he just wants the complete bottom out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to be good. Like, Sexton's a good player. Simons is a good player. They added a lot of talent. I know they subtracted a lot of talent, but they also brought back some talent. So I don't think this is like the worst team in the league. I think next year, when Simons and Sexton are gone, when Nick Richards is gone, we'll see what addition moves that they make. But I think next year they're going to end up being pretty bad because you're seeing the Pacers go out and trade for Ivica Zubac, and they've got Halliburton coming back. You saw the Wizards go out and get Anthony Davis and Trae Young. I think they'll be much better next year. The Hornets are already on their way up, and they just got Coby White, so they'll be better. I think next year the Bulls, I mean, whether it's on purpose or on accident, I think they will be towards the bottom of the Eastern Conference. And I mean, it's just too many years too late in a draft where there just isn't a top guy. And in this draft, there's 3, and they're still too late on this one.
We gotta knock out another ad break right here. We'll come back and see if there were any last-second deals that got done here as we have passed the 2 o'clock hour in Chicago. Quick piece of news before we hit that break. Our guy Jake Fisher pointing out that Sabonis will stay in Sacramento. No last-second deal for him. Wow. So if that was a worry on your list,
it kind of was.
There you go. There's that. Hit the like button while you're listening to the words from our friends and sponsors. We'll be back in 120 seconds. Y'all stay right here.
AK Presser coming up.
Yeah. CHGO Bulls is brought to you by Huel. We have made it to February, y'all. Thank goodness. But just because we're a month into 2026 doesn't mean that you can give up on your health and protein goals.
Don't do it.
Huel is a perfect solution for high-protein routine support, even for busy days. It's habit-building, it's convenient, and it can help you control your protein intake this year. Whether you want the ready-to-drink formula, bam! Or you got a little bit more time at home on some days, and you can mix it yourself in the protein powder form with one of their Huel bottles. Either way, you're getting 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, without any artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors. It is gluten-free, and it is under $5 a meal because that's exactly what it is. It drinks like a meal. And right now, take advantage of our limited-time offer. Get Huel today with our exclusive offer of 15% off online with our promo code BULLS15. That's BULLS15 when you check out at Huel.com to get 15% off your online order. New customers only. Shout out to Huel for supporting our show. If you're busy, Huel is a game changer.
Huel! So he said game changer. So that means I'm going to talk about game day. You see what I just did there, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, that's what Huel can make you do. And game day men's health can also add to that. Because, fellas, you want to be a better man. You want to be a better husband. You want to be a better father. You want to be better at everything. Wink. Then you need game day men's health, ladies and gentlemen. You need it. Very quick and easy process, fellas. You'll be in and out in about an hour. Personal care, family, local-owned clinics. Extremely high success rate. You can feel better. They got more energy with those testosterone shots, the vitamin supplements, the weight loss, and the hair loss treatments. They have got it all. So start your best life with Game Day Men's Health. Check out those locations in Skokie, Naperville, and more, or scan that QR code to find the one closest to you. Go to GameDayCHGO.com to find the location nearest to you.
CHGO Bulls Deadline Day live show rolls along. Peck, Big Dave, Goat, hanging out with our guy Joey on the controls. We have passed the 2 p.m. hour here in Chicago. I'm not seeing any last-second deals across my Twitter alerts as of right now. Who knows? We might still get one. We might not. In the meantime, shout out to Jeremy Dorsey, who threw us a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Jeremy. Saying the Bulls are going to be bad right in time for 2 of the worst drafts of the decade. Can't even muster up anger, just LOLs. Hashtag only the Bulls. Well, don't you worry. There are plenty of Bulls fans who can muster up that anger for you.
Oh, my God. Nets are waving Cam Thomas. That's crazy.
Wow.
Whoa. He ended up playing this year on the qualifying offer, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a buyout candidate for one of these teams that was able to clear a roster spot.
Yeah.
He'll definitely end up on someone's squad.
Yeah. Somebody's going to gobble him up.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Bulls Nation for bearing through this together. I just saw somebody in the chat saying, this is it. This is the last straw. I'm done. I'm going to be a Spurs fan. I don't blame you. Those of you who are sticking around because you're gluttons for punishment, we're sticking around too.
And Bulls fans, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Tough times, I'm still here.
Yeah.
All right? That's how fandom works.
Let's take the temp of that chat amongst our Bulls, fellow members of Bulls Nation, see how they're feeling. Taking the temp, brought to you by our trusted local experts, Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com. I think I'm also out on the Bulls until Acme, I assume you mean Argonne, says Jay Sane in the chat. Z7791. Heard we need another guard. Oh, you never have too many. You can never have too many. Boss Man Tone saying, this team can't hurt me anymore. This team can't hurt me anymore. This team can't hurt me anymore.
Dude, that is a lot of guards.
Yeah.
A lot of guards. And I just don't know what they're doing with all these guards still here on the team. That is a lot.
So many.
Plethora.
I mean, again, guards. I think they thought that they could probably flip them and weren't able to.
Then
and the question
now,
is,
AK's just left holding the bag.
And he's batted his job.
And not bag of money, a bag of poo.
Yeah.
So maybe they figure out sign and trades this summer. Maybe they buy them out or waive them, just because you got to get them out of here so that you can clear out some space. I think the big key right now for me is, what are Ivy and Dillingham going to get you? I don't think Simons or Sexton are long-term pieces. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But it just, I mean, like undersized scoring guards already in their mid to late 20s. It doesn't really seem like it fits with especially with the size profile that the Bulls are trying to go for.
Yeah.
They don't seem like they fit. So maybe they are a part of that. Maybe they crack into that. Maybe not. But I just wonder like how you're going to get the minutes for Dillingham and Ivy that you need when you also have Trey, when you also have Giddey, and those two guys, Simons and Sexton. It's just a lot of players. And I don't really know how you're going to properly evaluate Ivy when he's going to be competing like that with so many other players. So, but to me, that's the point of this, is that you get him so that you can evaluate him and get a better idea of what you want to pay him moving forward. Dillingham at least is under contract for a couple more years. But yeah, Sexton and Simons both expiring, and smaller guards and older. I just don't really know that they're part of this team's future. So I wonder if they get bought out.
It's a good point and a good question, man. I wonder who they're evaluating too, as well. As
everybody.
Who they want to bring back as far as the expiring contracts.
That's what the season was about, Dave.
Yeah.
We're not setting goals for being a playoff team or any kinds of goals. It's about evaluation.
That's it, man.
Diego Manischewitz in the chat saying happy ayahuasca day, but with the A and K of ayahuasca capitalized.
Well done.
I see what you did there.
Well done.
Because only somebody taking such a psychedelic drug could be making these kinds of decisions. J Phil 21 saying, oops, all guards. Yeah, that's not the cereal that I'm rushing to in the cereal aisle.
Not a fan.
But AK loves Oops All Guards.
Oh, it's his jam with marshmallows.
Yeah. Shout out to Ann Coco also, who said, I'm a GOAT,
Mama
Peck,
Coco.
and Big Dave fan. That's the only reason I'm here. Hey, we appreciate that too, even if your Bulls fandom is struggling to survive these days.
That's what the bat is for.
Zahid MC saying Bulls collecting second-round picks to trade to the Bears for cash consideration so the Bears could go out and get Myles Garrett or Max Crosby and win the Super Bowl. Now I like the thinking that's existing in the chat.
There you
also,
go.
shout out to Find A, who's getting off that CHGO Sports YouTube channel specific hat throw emoji.
No.
I love that we have a hat throw emoji.
We do have a hat throw.
Shout out to Rye, the guy who throws a super chat saying, how do we get the NBA to rig the lottery for us this year like they did for the Mavs last year? I don't know how you rig a coin flip.
I don't
No, that was a Bulls-Mavs coin flip.
Yeah,
and
man.
boy, howdy.
How
different we might feel today if the Bulls won that coin flip.
Yeah, but they did not. So
Or didn't need that coin
so
flip, dare
Nick
I
Richards. Nick Richards is here.
I've heard that he's going to be better than Cooper Flagg, Dave.
Oh, don't start
Nick
this.
Richards.
Don't start.
We've got Cooper Flagg at home.
I'm
now.
already in the pain. What I need is I need to hear from AK.
Do you need to hear from AK?
I need to hear. The people want to hear from AK and hear what he is talking about and tell us what he has promised to this team. There are so many questions. I need to hear the answers from Arturas Karnisovas and understanding what he has to say. So our guy Joey C is going to go ahead and take over from here. Continue to hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We've got some watch parties coming up next week. Just want to throw that out there as well since all of you guys are here. We got some watch parties coming next week, so come hang out at us. We'll let you know the location later on. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our own Joey Christopoulos, please, would you do the honors?
Thanks a lot, Big Dave. We are live here right now where we're going to Arturas Karnisovas is about to take the podium to talk about his trade deadline presser. Let's go in and listen live now.
Man, it got dark in here.
Okay, thanks first of all for joining on Zoom. Wish I could be in Chicago to do this with y'all in person, but obviously the schedule continues on. We got a game tonight. Obviously a busy few days here, a lot of moves as we continue to evaluate this roster, make decisions for the future of the team, the organization. I want to wish Coby White, Ayo Dosunmu, Vooch, Kevin Huerter, nothing but the best. Great guys, team guys. Appreciate everything they've done for us, and we wish them nothing but the best moving forward. As for what comes next, really excited to spend the next 30 games evaluating some of the young pieces we brought in, young players with experience, which, I just go gaga for. Really love that. Really excited to see, Ivy, Dillingham. We're talking about, high lottery picks that still have a really bright future in this league, and really like Anthony Simons. You saw what he was doing for the Celtics this season. And we still got Modest. We still got Josh. We still got Pat. Yes, that's right. We still got Pat. Really looking forward to seeing a bigger role for all three of those guys as we move forward. And, hey, we got a couple of different avenues ahead of us here. Maybe we can still compete, make that play-in tournament, maybe go to the playoffs. And if we don't, then we'll head to the lottery and we'll see what happens there. But either way, we got a lot of young talent to work with. Very excited for what the future brings here. And I know y'all thought I didn't care at all about second round picks, but how do you like them apples? We got all the second round picks in the league now, and I'm really looking forward to using those in the coming years on 26 more guards. So with that, I'll not take your questions.
Because I sure had a question. And scene. That's right. Oh, the chat loves it. The chat loves it, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out Brandon Bills.
Oh, toss that man some roses. All right. That is awesome stuff. Oh, Matt Peck, you make it all worth it.
Y'all can skip that press conference now.
Yes, it was good. Yes, it was that was incredible. Yes, it was. Absolutely right.
Jokes and budget hack acting aside, I am legitimately curious to hear what he has to say this time around.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be the same as the stand pat at the deadline press conference.
Yes.
He made a bunch of moves.
Part 1, 2, or 3.
None of them were super popular, I think,
trilogy.
with most Bulls fans. I think everybody is underwhelmed with the return that we've seen over several trades spanning several days and are not loving what lies ahead for the next 30 games and not loving the lack of draft capital, especially of the first-round variety, that they have to work with now that he's finally torn this down. These are, tough questions that he's going to face in that Zoom call. Go, you're going to be on that call, yeah?
Yep.
So with, we'll see what AK has to say when Go and his fellow members of the Bulls beat start firing questions his way. I don't know how you answer for this. If I were the chairman of the Bulls, if this was my organization, honestly, I would not even let that dude do this interview that's scheduled at 3:30. You're done. But it's the Bulls, so they're going to, let him go talk again and try to explain this ridiculous sequence of decisions that came 2 years too late. Joey, do we knock out an ad break? Okay, let's knock out our last ad break, then we can be done with ads and stay here, keep reacting to anything else that's happening around the league and what situation the Bulls find themselves in now. Dave's got a bat. Y'all have a like button right in front of you. Hit it! Hit it for AK's press conference. We'll be right back.
Oh, Lord.
CHGO Bulls is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Let's talk about your next weekend escape, or maybe just your next big night out, because Potawatomi has everything you need in one spot. If you're ready to refuel, you've got tons of amazing restaurants and bars to choose from, whether you're feeling fancy, getting all dressed up, or you just want a quick, comfortable bite. They've got you covered either way. You don't even have to leave the property if you don't want to. Stay in style in their luxurious hotel. That's what I'm talking about. Just steps away from what many call the Midwest's best sports book. Maybe you're heading to a game later this winter because you want to go see what the Bucks are doing. Want to go check that out. I hear Fiserv Forum is an awesome stadium. Start your day right at Potawatomi, hit the sports book, then head out to the game. It's all right there, super convenient. Milwaukee has a full winter lineup of not just sports, but concerts, festivals, comedy, and more. Potawatomi is the perfect home base for all of it. Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting, unless you're the Packers. So go check it out.
Another place the Packers aren't going to be is the big game that's going on. Oh, the big game. Yes, the big game. Yes. Hooters. That's where you want to go watch that at. You want to hang out at Hooters, man. Everybody knows Hooters. Everybody's been to Hooters. It's a wonderful place to enjoy those wangs, to enjoy the beer, and to enjoy the ambiance and hanging out with your cool people, man. Hooters is an awesome place to be. But say you want to watch the big game at home. Well, guess what? You pick up your order before 3 p.m. on game day, and you will get a coupon for 20% off your next visit. They're awesome. You know what else be happening in February? Every Tuesday in February, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They are looking out for the kids. With your support of the Chicagoland Hooters family, they have raised over $1 million since 1992. Hooters is donating a portion of chicken wing sales to Holy Family Schools, helping fund tuition, books, classroom supplies, and more for kids in under-resourced communities. So go get you some wings and do a good thing. Check them out at originalhooters.com.
CHGO Bulls live deadline day show rolling along. Peck, Big Dave, and Go. Our guy Joey under control. Thanks for being here, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button. Share the joy to help us get through this, whatever the hell today is. Good Chaos 3 in the chat saying, question for AK. Question 1 for AK. Okay. What is the goal here? I legit have no idea what this organization wants to accomplish besides a record as close to 500 as possible. Hey, you know what the record is right now?
Tell me.
Because it's 3 games under.
Woo-woo!
Right in the sweet spot.
Right up in the sweet
but
spot.
No, I think that is a very fair question, and I'm sure the one that AK will face in an hour or so.
Yeah.
Because, okay, you finally are tearing this down to the studs, save Gideon Modis, right?
Right.
And Noah, who's basically a redshirt rookie right now.
Right.
To what end? Because I I know Nikola Jokic was a second-round pick, and I know that people like to bring that up a lot. That is the exception, not the rule.
Correct.
If you're starting over, you need serious draft capital.
Yes.
And, hey, maybe instead of fighting to finish a game or two above 500 this season and be back in that play-in tournament, maybe they get leapfrogged by Charlotte, and maybe they fall out of the play-in tournament, and maybe their lottery odds boost a few percentage points from 1.8 to somewhere in the single digits, but towards closer to 10, to jump into that top 4. They might be able to make out some of that ground as a soft tanking team. You're still looking most likely at a pick in the late lottery, not at the top. You missed out on the top end talent of last year's stacked draft class. You know who looks awesome? Cooper Flagg. You know who looks awesome? VJ Edgecombe. You know who looks awesome? Con Knipple. And now you're about to probably miss out on the Boozers, the Petersons, etc. of this draft class because you waited this freaking long. So what is the plan? Yes, you control all of your own future firsts. Good for frickin' you. You need more bites at the apple at landing a franchise player. Also, your scouting ability does not exactly have the most shining reputation right now.
At all.
Bye, Dalen Terry. Much love. Patrick Williams is still here. Dear God, why? When you're talking about talent evaluation.
Yeah.
Eek.
It's not great. It's not great at evaluating the talent. And that, again, is something else that scares me so much about this. But, I mean, I'm not going to continue to apply logic to these situations because I continue to hurt my own brain when I'm doing these things. Because logically, I thought a lot of different things that could happen. But the way it ends up is always illogical. And it's not the first time that it ends up illogical with this front office. So I'm just going to look at it as, okay, they've picked a direction. They've torn it down. They've gotten rid of all these guys that basically are your floor. And they're going to be bad. But and Goat raises the right point, but not, bad, but not bad enough. You know what I mean? Like, just right there to where bad, but it's still a little exciting, but just not that bad. So I don't know exactly what the plan is. But yeah, I'm going to listen to the press conference. We'll come back. We'll talk about it. We'll yell about it. I'll probably destroy the set. And I'm not looking forward to that. But, I mean, it's frustrating, Matt. It gets a little frustrating sitting here looking at this over and over again. And even when they're tearing it down, it's like tearing a building down and starting at the 5th floor when it's a 10-story building. Like, you don't start in the middle with the tear down. You start at the top and you tear that joint down. So that's what's frustrating. That's what's upsetting. And it continues to happen. And I'm just not going to do that to myself, bro. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really more complicated than that. They realized that they didn't want to keep on going with this core, and this was their last chance to trade guys, so they got whatever they could for them. I think the return is obviously not what people would have hoped, but the ship to get a lot more had sailed when you didn't trade guys before they were expiring contracts with 30 games left before the season. That's why it's disappointing they didn't trade Trey or Jalen Smith. The same thing is going to happen with them next year. I mean, Jalen Smith's going to be an expiring. Trey's still got a couple of years. But it's just continuing to not learn from your mistakes, even though they finally are admitting, okay, this team we had was not good enough and we need to rebuild, which, again, we've been calling for years. The fact that they haven't done it now is what puts them in this place where they don't have a lot of good assets to move forward with. Yeah. And so I expect them to come out and say that they picked a direction, that they are, they're not going to say that they're tanking, but clearly this is a team that's replacing Vooch with Nick Richards and, Coby with Ivy and Simons and Sexton. Like, I just don't think that they're going to be as good, but they're also not in a position where they can bottom out now, given where the rest of the teams in the league are. I mean, this is a full season project if you want to enter the tank race, not a 30-game project, especially when you're 3 games below 500. So I think that's the challenging part, is that they're just off to such a bad start in terms of the lottery this year, which they're going to need luck with anyway. But I guess, like, looking at it and thinking about these couple of front court players that they bring in and how much they're really going to be helping them, I mean, best case scenario is they're jumping up to the 10th spot. Portland passes them. Charlotte passes them. Maybe the Clippers now, who've just traded Zubats and James Harden, I think they're going to not be great, but they're still going to try because they don't have their own pick.
Yeah.
So maybe 10 or 11 is the highest that they can get to. And I don't think that Nick Richards and Gershon Yabusele are really the difference between 12 and 11. Or maybe they are, but at that point, who cares? Like the damage is already done. And the issue is that they just didn't do this last year. Like they always say the best time to start a rebuild is last year. And the next best time is today. And so they're doing it now. It's just that the execution is not what people would have hoped when this is when they started because of the value. But that's why it's even more disappointing. Okay, finally they admit that they need to rebuild. Then trade the guys who have value when they have value. Trade Trey and trade Jalen now. Keeping them around makes very little sense. Let me pose this question to you guys.
Oh God.
Go question.
The Bulls are rebuilding.
Bulls are rebuilding.
Last time they started rebuilding, they were rebuilding with Zach LaVine, with Lauri Markkanen, the 7th pick, and Chris Dunn. Do you think that they're in a better position rebuilding now with their current group or then with the LaVine trade?
Not better now.
That's the parallel.
That's the answer. Not better now.
Not better now.
Not better now. Depends on how you feel about Giddey and Modest and Noah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I had some guarded optimism that Zach, Lowry, Chris Dunn, and then Wendell getting added to that could turn into something. I didn't have sky-high hopes by any means. I was like, if they develop properly, if they, find some synergy as young players together, maybe there's some potential there.
Sure.
I also thought at that time that the Bulls were stuck being mid with the three alphas who were aging.
Yeah.
Anyway, that team's not winning anything, so why not break it down now?
Sure.
That was my thinking back then, and I think that logic still stands for where they were then. Obviously, that core that they tried to start the rebuild with didn't pan out, but again, even then they didn't fully begin and initiate the rebuild properly or certainly as best they could. They didn't even get a first-round pick in that Jimmy trade. They swapped and moved up to get Lowry at 7.
And 7's probably higher than the pick they're going to get.
7's probably higher than they're going to draft this year. And then you drafted 7th 2 more times with Wendell and then Coby. You missed out on the top-end talent of those drafts too because you went on meaningless winning streaks in March. Get ready for another one. This is what they do. But no, I don't feel better about where they are now with this young core. And if you say that without laughing, hilarious, bless your heart. I felt better about that collection of players all those years ago than I do right now.
When I'm just responding to this comment from Joe, what is that? Joe Mama?
Joe Mama. What up?
Like, I think there's a difference between a rebuild and a tank job. I don't think they're tanking. I don't think they will ever tank.
Nope.
But you can't say that they're not rebuilding this roster. Like they removed the core pieces. They took the heart and soul out of the team and are replacing it for a new one. Like this is absolutely a rebuild, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a tank job. And I don't think that it would be or that it will be.
Yeah. If we still have a laughing at the way you read that.
Your comedic timing on that was priceless.
It was like Amanda
I couldn't read it.
Kiss. Joe fired
looking for Amanda.
The text is too small. I can't see that far.
Oh, that's right. Joe Mama.
Man, I don't know. I probably, if I said who I liked Zach more than I like this, but this is probably go to the front office then. I trusted the previous front office more in the draft than I do this iteration of the front office right here. They have much more hits in the draft than this one has going on right here. So maybe for that reason, I can say, those collection of players. I mean, you brought me Lowry, who, was my guy. I mean, we can run down the line of guys they got. Hell, it was Coby White that they drafted as well. So I can't point to anything outside of my main man, Ayo Dosunmu, who was a second rounder, second round guy. But in this draft, when you're going to tank and be bad, it won't be second round picks that she'll be looking at. But unfortunately, we will because we have 55 of them. But it's the first round picks that kind of set the tone, right, about what your franchise is going to be. Like you said, Matt, Joker is the exception to the rule. The rule is still what it is. He is the exception. So I can't judge you on an exception. I have to judge you on what the rule is. And the rule is you get your guys in the first round. And they haven't done that in any of these drafts that, they've kind of come across. Maybe Modest turns out to be that guy for sure. I still have that faith in him. I still think Josh Giddey is definitely good. Good basketball player for sure. But I don't know if that core inspires me to something like that, like the previous one kind of did.
How old was Zach when that trade went down? Do we remember?
He's young.
young.
Oh, you know what he was? He was AK's favorite. He was a young player with experience.
He was.
Because he had been in Minnesota for a few seasons. He got drafted at like 18, I think.
That was his 4th year.
Yeah.
But he had torn his ACL in the middle of his 3rd year.
Right.
So he was coming back. They had to pay him. It was a very similar situation to Jaden Ivey, honestly. And maybe even Josh Giddey to a certain extent, minus the injury.
So, yes, it was his 4th year, but he
was 23,
was
24 years old?
He was 22.
He was 22.
Okay, so wait.
Oh,
So
22
here's
Zach.
the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
21 when he got traded,
Yeah,
22 when he played his first game with the Bulls.
And look, I was never really a big Zach fan.
How dare you?
But honestly, he didn't really win in this city.
He's
but
a
anyways,
joke, bro.
podcast
He's
for
a
another
joke.
time.
He's a joke.
No, but I'm saying he was 22 years old. And to Zach's credit, rattled off 3-4 years, made an all-star team, 3-4 years of 20-plus points a game, and became an efficient, above average, if you want to say maybe even an elite light scorer. Lauri Markkanen didn't work out here in Chicago, but then went off and became a 20-10 player.
Like I knew.
And we've got 2 guys right now around that same age.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe I felt like maybe that the reaching of that upside was probably more likely for Zach and Lauri than maybe I do right now for Giddey and Modest. But again, that could be product of the environment that Modest has been in this year.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in the final 30 games. Can Giddey stay healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, that's becoming a thing now. Like, Giddey needs to stay healthy and stay out there. But he needs to continue to get better.
But you even brought up a point right there. That kind of slipped my mind was the draft picks that were here that got traded by AK went on and did their thing. Because you mentioned Lowry went on and did his thing, and when they traded Wendell for the first part, he was doing his thing. Daniel Gafford went on and did his thing. Bobby Portis, but Bobby Portis wasn't him. Bobby Portis was traded by John. Mm-hmm. But when they leave here, they find something. There's a light that kind of clicks and goes off. And maybe that light is, oh man, like proper structure, maybe some coaching. Here I am, and putting me in a position to succeed. Here I go. So, yeah, I feel like AK's done more for other teams than he's kind of done for us when it comes to those kind of picks.
Yeah, and I don't think that – I think a lot of people are freaking out about the roster construction and what this team looks like. I still don't think this is a finished product, and I don't think it will be until at least after next offseason, this upcoming offseason. When you look at the roster and how many guys are going to be here, you have expiring contracts in Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, Zach Collins. Jaden Ivey is technically expiring, although I imagine they'll try to keep him. That's 4. You have Yabusele. No, he's got an option next year. That's 4 still. Richards. So 5 guys coming off the books. You have at least 1 draft pick, potentially 2, if the Blazers can make the playoffs. And you're going to have upwards of $35 million in cap space. I think by the end of that, maybe they'll try to throw that $35 million at a Walker Kessler or a Jalen Duren or a Mark Williams and try to even out their roster a little bit and then use their full mid-level exception and have this kind of younger core that's a little bit more balanced, that makes a little bit more sense. Not to mention adding in ideally a top 10 pick this year and maybe even a second lottery or just outside the lottery pick from Portland. So I don't think that all is lost here or that they're going to get Noah back next year. They're going to have some young, interesting guys. Dillingham, I think, is he could be a really good third guard, but they just need to even it out, and they just couldn't do it at this deadline. So I don't necessarily fault them for that. I think for starting it when they did, I think they came out okay, not great, not terrible, just okay. But they needed to make these decisions, and I think that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and complain about that when we knew that the return for these guys wasn't going to be great based on when they were doing it. I think you can criticize the timing, but I think they needed to do it now. Otherwise, it was going to be another 39-win play-in tournament loss, and then Coby walks for nothing. Or maybe you can sign and trade Anthony Simons or Colin Sexton in the offseason and pick something up that way. I think there's going to be more options. I just think they're so far away from having a complete roster and talking about it like it is a complete roster, talking about judging the roster based on how it looks right now, I don't think is necessarily fair because it's going to still change so much. So I think it looks crazy right now. And I tweeted out like the depth chart. I mean, they've got 6 guards, a handful of forwards, and basically 1.5 centers. It looks crazy right now. But I just don't think that the point of this trade deadline was to create a comprehensive, cohesive roster that they were going to try to win with this year.
Absolutely.
It was to try to offload some guys, get whatever you can, and then they've got 14 second-round picks that they can try to maybe move up in the draft or attach a handful of them to take on some money in the offseason and get a pick for it. Like there's a lot of optionality here.
Sure.
It's just not a complete picture, and I understand why people would be frustrated with that.
Sure.
Can I ask a speculative question? Does this change Billy Donovan's coaching style at all as a reframe?
That's a great question.
As a reframe of, do we have to maybe think about how you guys preach it all the time? Like, let Modest make some mistakes. Like, let these different guys grow and develop. It isn't so much about maybe the matchups and the combinations that that maybe win this shift in the second quarter more than the other. Like, does this change Billy's approach at all?
I think it absolutely has to. And I think that's why I said, like, Arturas and Billy need to get on the same page about what they are valuing out of the rest of this season. I think you can do 2 things at once, which is try to put forward this presentation of being competitive while also letting your young players rock out a little bit and seeing what you have in them. To me, that's what you have to do right now is see, is Jaden Ivey a keeper? Is Rob Dillingham a keeper?
Yeah.
Is Modest a 3? Exactly. Can you make him into a 3? Exactly. It's not like, and that's why I think you had to get rid of Vooch and get the best for him. That's why you had to get rid of Coby and Ayo and get the best for him. You need to put the ball in some of these guys' hands and just see what happens with it. To me, that is the most important thing for these last 29 games. And I don't know if it's going to work out that way. I don't know if Billy's going to love it, but that's what needs to happen. And I would imagine at a certain point in the next 30 minutes or an hour that Billy and Arturas are getting on the same page about that.
Yeah, they're going to have to, man.
It's funny that you say getting on that same page because, Joey, when you started asking that question, I thought the question was going to be, do you think this changes Billy's perception of wanting to be here still?
I think that's a fair question.
Not about like wanting to change his coaching style or playing style of the team, perhaps, but like, I know that Billy very loudly and firmly last season and even before it, but there was one instance last year in particular that I vividly remember where he said, I don't know why people keep bringing up this idea that I don't want to be involved in coaching a rebuilding team because of my departure from OKC. That's not what that was.
That's what he said.
Let's squash that nonsense. That's not what it was. He said, I would like to be a part of that. I would like to know what's going on. I would like to know what the plan is if that's the case here in Chicago. But having, said all that, and I do believe that Billy was telling the truth when he said that last year. This is not a winning basketball team for the next 30 games of this season.
No, it is not.
This does not look to be a winning basketball team next season.
No, it does not.
Does he want to stick around for that? I wouldn't blame him if he doesn't.
I wouldn't blame him at all if he does. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Like, I wouldn't blame him at all if he says, I don't want to be around for any of this iteration of what this team is going to be right now.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about his coaching style now. And how he coaches. I've always said he's going to coach to win. I don't think he knows any other kind of way or wants to have any other kind of style when it comes to that. He wants to coach to win the basketball game out there on the floor. So he's going to put whoever is helping him win the basketball game out there on the floor. I don't think he is concerned about development. I don't think he is concerned about how many minutes certain guys need to have on the floor and how many mistakes. I think Billy is going to try to win, period. That's it.
Joe Mama threw us a $4.99 super chat. Appreciate just talking about the letting players learn through mistakes could also instill a culture of losing. Possible downside there. Here's some reality for you, fresh across your face. We are in a culture of losing already.
Right now.
The Bulls haven't won a playoff series in over a decade.
They've had a winning season.
They haven't had a winning season, save that one in 21-22, in also a decade.
That's a long time, bro.
Culture of worried about a culture of losing? We in it, y'all.
And also, I think we've disproven that. The Pistons are a good example. They were a disaster for 5 straight years. They lost 28 games in a row. Now they're the top team in the East. Like, I don't believe that. I just don't. And I think there are bad habits that you can pick up, but I also think you can play your way out of them. It's all about just putting the right team together. You saw the Bulls flip the switch from, I don't know how many games they won. I think 31 in that shortened season of 2020 when they traded for Vooch. And then all of a sudden they get a couple of guys in here and it was a 46-win team. Like you can flip it. I just don't buy that at all. I think that's something that you hear teams say when they try to argue against why they're not tanking. So I just don't buy that. I think that's just a completely useless argument. I think the real question is like, how do you get talent? And sometimes you have to go through hard times to do it. But I think also you're starting to see teams go in different directions when it comes to finding that talent. I think the Wizards and the Jazz are really interesting use case here where they've tanked for a couple of years. They've gotten a good core of players. And now all of a sudden they're accelerating with some of the excess picks that they've gotten, right? They picked up a ton of picks for Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Now they put some of those forward to get Jaren Jackson Jr., and you add that to Lauri Markkanen, who was part of that trade, Walker Kessler, Keontae George, Ace Bailey. Like you build up your core a little bit, and then you can go make a finishing move. The Wizards are the same way. Sarr, Koulibaly, Keyshawn George is having a breakout year. You just get Trey Johnson, and now you can go ahead and take on basically a bunch of money in the form of Trey Young and Anthony Davis for almost nothing in terms of draft capital, but really put yourself in a position to compete next year. I don't know if they'll be championship contenders, but I can tell you I think they'll be better than the Bulls. So I think the Bulls, they can spend a couple of years towards the bottom of the draft still trying to be good and then use some of the flexibility that they've gotten and maybe some of these second-round picks, if they can parlay them into talent down the road. And maybe that's even this summer with their space, is they're willing to take on some, quote unquote bad money from one of these stars that's overpaid and a team wants to create some flexibility. Maybe you can take advantage of that. Maybe the Cavs are way too expensive next year and Jarrett Allen's contract goes from 20 to 30 and you say, we'll take him for 2 second-round picks and you can just get off that money because we can take him into our cap space. I think that's the kind of move that the Bulls will be looking at. But it's just like this weird gap of time where they weren't able to really polish anything off with the roster right now, but there aren't still future moves that they can make, or they're just not available to them yet. So we'll see. But it just makes this next 29 games a very weird 29 games.
Can you talk about the flexibility the Bulls have now when it comes to money and when it comes to those picks and things like that?
Like today or like this summer?
Yeah, and both.
Both. Okay. So today I have the Bulls at about $5.1 million below the tax line. So, I mean, obviously the trade deadline has passed. They've got 15 roster spots. There's not really much else they can do. I think the flexibility that you're talking about would be to buy out Anthony Simons or Colin Sexton or both and maybe collect a little bit more money against the luxury tax.
He knows me well.
I don't really think that there's much reason to do that from a financial perspective. I think the reason to do that would be to just clear out some space to let Ivy and Dillingham go. So I could see them doing that, although I wouldn't necessarily bank on it just with the way that this team has operated in the past. This summer is, I think, where it gets interesting. You've got a bunch of cap holds on guys. For Simons, for Sexton, for Collins, you can waive those and you can create up to $36 million in cap space. And that is what's going to afford you the ability to reshape your roster. Some of that will get cut into depending on their first round picks and their second round picks. But they should have a good amount of space that they can go out and make some trades, attack a restricted free agent with an offer sheet, or take on some bad money with the Jarrett Allen example that I just gave. And then kind of move forward that way with a couple extra picks and maybe some more flexibility. I think the other key thing that they could consider this summer, and I don't think that they would do this, but it's just something I've been thinking about, is that they could, if they wanted to really maximize their space, waive and stretch Patrick Williams. He is under contract for 2 more years plus a player option year after this one. And if they waive and
3 more. Oh, yeah, you
plus
said
the
plus
player
option.
option.
Okay.
So 3 more in total.
I'm counting that. What do you think, he's going to decline that player option?
Well, it's just that it's there. But what they could do is they could waive and stretch him, and what that would do is it allows you to pay the remaining $54 million over 2 times the amount of years plus 1. So in this case, it would be 7 years. You'd be paying him about $7.7 million per year in just dead money to not be here. But that creates, an additional $11 million in space that you're able to play with going into this year. But it does, hamper your books long term. That's what the Bucks did with Damian Lillard, what the Suns did with Bradley Beal. But $7.7 million is a lot less than $25 million. Or maybe you say, you know what?
That's true.
Nets, you guys have all the cap space in the world. We have 14 second-round draft picks. Would you take Patrick Williams for 14 second-round draft picks? I think that's an option as well.
14 seconds. Wow.
So
Okay,
I have a
sorry,
question for the group with this
You and your questions.
with this flexibility, and you're redoing this roster. Why are you letting AK do any of this summer? Why aren't you just moving on? Because
I don't know. That's not a question I can
it's a
answer.
clean break for someone fresh to come in.
Yeah.
because
And if you push it past another summer, then you are allowing the GM that probably will not be here long term,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
it stands right now,
Right.
do more to the roster and make it more rigid.
the answer is flatly money. They rewarded AK for getting back to the playoffs, even though it was a first-round exit in 5, with a new contract. That was his reward for getting the team back to the playoffs, was an extension on his contract. Debatable if he deserved it, considering what he did after their first-round exit.
Yeah. He did not. By the way.
Several off seasons and trade deadlines of pretty much keeping the roster intact, despite the fact that anyone with a pair of decent eyeballs knew it was heading nowhere. But he still has 2 more years on his current contract, AK?
That's what some people think.
That's what
I'm
some
not
people
su-
think.
I'm not exactly sure.
They're not going
Reinsdorfs would buy 1 year. They wouldn't do 2.
They're going to grit their teeth and grin and bear it, and just like, dude, what do you think? Michael knows that AK doesn't have a freaking clue what he's doing? Because I don't think Michael is aware enough himself to have any freaking clue that AK doesn't have any freaking clue. And that's the sad reality for Bulls fans right now. But
man.
you're not being like held accountable as a lead executive, a VP of basketball operations, because the organization has priorities that are far outweighing the priority of competent roster construction that leads to legitimate championship contention. That is so far down on their list of priorities when you're talking about this ownership group. We've all known that to be the truth for basically since MJ walked out the door in 98. It's always been the case. It was the case before MJ. It's the case now. They're a bottom dollar team. Some might use the phrase poverty franchise. I would tend to agree with those who do. Those are their priorities, and AK bungling this so badly is sadly, I think, still not going to cost him his job. It might eventually, if this rebuild that he's starting with not nary a single additional first-round draft pick goes poorly, maybe he doesn't get another contract after the one he's on. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him finish out this contract.
I wouldn't either.
I feel like I had to choke back vomit as I said that.
And you should.
But I truly think that is a very decent likelihood that they're going to let him finish this contract out.
And just to follow up on that really quick, why that doesn't make sense is like AK, how I personally feel about him, or as a Bulls fan, how you feel about him aside. Think about it from just a broad sports angle. Like in 2019, the Cubs knew they weren't going to sign the rest of their core, so they moved on from Joe Madden because they knew they were entering into a different phase. And the other adage in sports is, how many bites do you get at the apple? In NFL, general manager, how many coaches are you allowed to hire? Right? And now it feels like we're at an inflection point where AK has decided to move on from this group, collect a bunch of second-round picks, as Goat says, anywhere between $30 to $35 million to spend on restricted free agency or reshaping the roster. Truly, this feels like, whether the front office loves AK or not, it just feels like the perfect time for a fresh start.
I agree.
A clean
Yeah.
slate. And also,
Right.
it's the perfect time to have someone maybe new come in that would want this job. It's an attractive job the way it stands right now with the flexibility. And unfortunately, AK has put himself in that position. But how many times are you going to let him try and fix the thing
But
that he has acknowledged is broken?
Everything
you're
you're
not
saying is
wrong.
right. You're all right in everything you're saying.
Get it. But we have to say
But
this stuff out loud.
when has timing ever been their forte?
Well.
You know what I mean? We're talking about something right now that
No.
they should have done
That-
previously.
I
We're
was-
discussing it right now. Timing is not their thing. It's not their friend, man. Go ahead, man.
Well, I was saying to our guy Jake earlier today. So I'm fairly confident that somewhere between 25 and 29 other NBA teams would have dismissed this executive by now
Yeah, out of here.
because of the continual, examples.
I think you can safely say it's 29. Like most
Yeah.
teams have moved on from their guys
I
already.
didn't want to go that far, but there you go.
No,
That's
go
going
there.
that far.
The only teams that like still have their guys are the Spurs, the Heat. Like it's like the teams that are
exactly
actually
teams that are winning
continually winning at
and
a high level.
continually competing to be
and
deep
if for
runs
some
in the
reason,
playoffs.
some of the more lenient ownership groups who were saying, man, I don't know if this executive, if we still have faith in him, saw the sequence of moves that AK has made today, lying in the bed that he made with this pitiful return of trades of guys he waited way too long to trade, even those more lenient groups would say, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You don't get to talk to the media today.
Yeah.
We are pivoting into a new direction. And this is honestly what I would like and even appreciate as a Bulls fan today, is if instead of in 45 minutes or so, less than, we hear AK on a Zoom call explaining his moves today, we hear Jerry or Michael Reinsdorf address the media and say, AK's done. We're pivoting into a new direction. We're working on what that means moving forward, but we're pivoting in a new direction. I would not let that man speak to the media.
Agreed.
Again, that's just me. But that is living in a dream world because we know how freaking lenient the Bulls as an ownership group are with their executives.
People were feeling really good about David Griffin 3 years ago, and they said enough's enough in New Orleans.
It's
It
ridiculous.
happens.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and also you just see a lot of these teams turn over their roster. That's the thing. It's even if teams are struggling, maybe you get one chance to turn over the roster, but it's you do it pretty immediately. Even the Cavs, you mentioned David Griffin, the team that they have with Kobe Altman right now is they just traded Darius Garland and they were, a 60-win team last year. They're actively doing things to try to get better. And I don't think that it can be understated that, the last 4 years they're never going to say this, but it was a complete waste of time. They wasted all these years. They signed Kobe and Ayo to good contracts and completely wasted them. They weren't able to do anything with those good contracts.
Yeah.
Everything that they've done has amounted to where they are now, which is selling low on all the assets you've managed to collect. So, I think it's the same for me as it is with the rebuilding comment that I made earlier. When's the best time to do it? Last year. When's the next best time to do it? Today. I think timing the same is true for decision makers. But they're getting another chance here and they're going to see what it looks like. That's my read on it anyway.
And also, Joe, you see, who's the last person in charge that they actually let go? Everybody's had to kind of resign.
John stepped down.
John said, I'll step down.
And he had to convince them to let him step down.
Correct. Jerry stepped down. He resigned. And it was 18 seasons he was here like that. It's not something they do. You know what I mean? Gar Forman was probably the only one. That was more of a scapegoat kind of thing. But yeah, it's not something that they do. So I don't expect them to change that. Do I want them to change that? Because again, you brought up the Cubs. I watched the Bears do something they had never done in their 100+ year history, which is fire a coach during the season. But they understood they needed to do that if they wanted to get to the level they needed to get to, and especially for the fans and repaying them for all of their adversity and pain and heartache and things like that. So, yeah, you can still change it for sure, but I don't have that faith, in this front office as I would for these other teams here in the city.
Yeah, and you saw Bears is a great example. I know it's a different sport, but yeah, they were so used to doing the same things over and over.
Yeah.
That they got so comfortable. And when they finally did something that they probably painstakingly thought over, and then they decided to finally fire Eberflus, which seems hilarious today to say out loud that they thought so long about it.
Yeah.
But to get out of their comfort zone, they have at least now what they think to be a window of contention and at least fandom that feels the same way. And I just want that for my Bulls.
Just want that for my Bulls, baby. That's it. Just want that.
We should get out of here soon. Goat's got to get ready for this AK Zoom call.
He does.
But before we do, we got some super chats. I know we still got a shout out. Shout out to Freshman Cut It 11 with a $10 super chat. Appreciate you saying the reality of being a Bulls fan is living in daily misery. It's horrible to know that we are 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Ooh.
Yes, but we are only one win away from being 2 games under 500. So there's that. NBA was better in the 80s and 90s, saying NBA will place a high pick in Chicago this year or next. No, the league is not rigging anything for the Bulls, y'all. I still don't believe in the conspiracy that rigging exists. I know that a lot of people thought that after the Mavs lucked their way into Cooper Flag.
I do.
Maybe. But do the Bulls deserve that? No, the Bulls don't deserve that. I know a lot of people have said, the league needs to step in and do something about how irrelevant the Bulls are and how much of a joke their franchise is and how poorly they're being run and how okay ownership is with them just doing nothing and twiddling their finger. I would like to agree with that, but also know that, the NBA don't care.
Yeah.
The NBA is fine with just kind of occasionally laughing at the Bulls from a distance while they focus on the good teams, the teams that are actually trying to win. Of course, the league loves it and embraces it when the Bulls do happen to be good.
Because it would be
They'll
great.
slap them on the nationally televised schedule for
Every
half the
day.
games of the year.
It'd be amazing.
That's what it was when it was Derek and Joe
Yes.
Keem.
They're on Prime tonight.
They
They are on
are.
Prime tonight. Get ready for the Mac McClung hours, y'all.
Let's go.
Because that's scary. NBA 80s and 90s was also thrown in Super Chat saying, like Cowboys ownership and management leads to failure. Sure does. Sure does. Oh, God. Are we the Jerry Jones of the NBA?
John Sabine been saying that about us for years.
That's gross.
He's saying it for years.
ISO Noah with a $9.99 Super Chat saying, we trade almost all the players you drafted or signed, which shows you made bad decisions. Then we got nothing back for them. WTF. Guards. Matt, give me a hat throw. Piss. I don't trust. Hey, there you go.
There it is.
Neither do I. Do not
Brandon
trust.
Bills shot.
Do
out.
not trust this front office right now.
Zero
do
trust.
not.
What
And
have they
hey,
earned?
we didn't trade all of AK's draft picks. Pat's still here.
Still here. Still here.
Pat going,
Why is he
Pat going for 17 tonight.
Good God.
Going for 17 tonight, Dave.
Still
The dude
ass.
stinks.
he stinks. He's still ass. He's
Oh
still
my gosh.
ass.
80s, 90s with yet another super chat saying, if Reddick, why not Heinrich? Instant respect in Shy. Talking about perhaps a post-Billy coaching option.
It has come to this.
I think Kirk was happy to show up for, showing some love to D-Rose for all the D-Rose festivities, D-Rose night, the videos they shot ahead of time.
Good time.
It doesn't seem like he's shown any interest in being an NBA coach. I don't know why that would change. Also, that's a tough gig. Here's this collection of, broken parts. Good luck.
Good luck.
That's a tough gig. All right, did we knock out all those super chats, Joey? We got to all of them. Thank you, everybody.
We did
for
just
hanging out with us.
really quickly. I just want to shout out some of the ones that made me laugh today.
Yeah.
First of all, Prison Mike saying,
All right, Prison Mike. What up, buddy?
just real quick, how am I in jail and AK is GM for an NBA franchise? Johnny B. Poker said, first 5,000 fans that attend next game get a second round pick. I thought that was pretty funny. And then J. Phil says, Bulls always half-assing a whole ass task.
Shout out.
There it
We'll
is,
end on
baby.
Shout out Ron Swanson.
The only whole
Never
ass they had.
never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing.
That's
the
it.
Bulls have never, ever, ever learned that lesson.
Well, they do have a whole ass on the squad.
Ooh.
Thanks, Patrick Williams.
Grade A?
Whole that.
Certified?
Organic.
USDA?
Grass fed.
We are going to see 30-plus minutes of that tonight.
Oh, yes, we are.
You better be ready for
Be
it.
smelly. Let's get it.
All right, with that, this AK press conference is coming up momentarily, so we're going to let
let's
Goat
wrap it
get
up.
situated for that. And then we'll be back for a live pregame show at 6 o'clock Central before Bulls-Raptors happens at 6:30 tonight. TBD on who's in that lineup, and that starting lineup might look a little funky.
A little bit.
But so yes, we'll be here for 6 for live pregame. We might take a look at Bulls Raptors matchup, but we'll probably also take a considerable portion of that show to break down what we heard from AK in this upcoming press conference. But you could also just rewind today's show to earlier, and you could hear what he's going to say.
Hashtag Will Gottlieb.
There you go. Shout out to our guy Joey C on the controls. Shout out to Sarah, Chloe, everybody else who helped us get ready for all of today's craziness. As it rolls on. Big Dave, BWL Sports, Will to go, Will_Gottlieb, read his stuff, allchgo.com. We're also running a Die Hard sale right now. Take advantage of it so you can read all the GOAT's great stuff. 60% off right now, I believe.
Lot of stuff.
Is the Die Hard sale we're running for new sign-ups right now.
Sign up.
I'm Bulls_Peck, we're CHGO_Bulls. Show number 2 of the day. Down. Shows 3 and 4.
On the way.
Still ahead. Hit the like on your way out if you haven't done it yet. Appreciate the likes, appreciate the super chats, appreciate the regular chats, appreciate you, Bulls Nation. Love you always. Talk to you soon. See you, be good.
We love y'all, man. Peace. Make it stop.
We all silly like the mayor.